Hello, everybody.
There we go. I'm here. You can't hear me. Well, you can't see me. You can hear me, but you can't hear me. Happy Friday. We are coming to you from a new location. Should we call it the set? The studio?
Sure.
We are excited to be here with you guys. How's everybody doing today?
Yowza. This looks official. Yeah.
I can take my crusty post-it from the back there. Keep my Ted Lasso sticker. Any other Ted Lasso fans here?
Anybody see my Ted Lasso reel today?
You made a Ted Lasso reel? I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's not really like a full-on Ted Lasso reel, but yeah.
Awesome.
I talked about Ted Lasso and that I watch it.
I met with a client earlier, and what we were talking about, something, and I said, I'm not sure if you're a Ted Lasso fan, and she's like, I just watched the new episode. I was like, yes, that's why you're working with us. You're our kind of people. You'll have to excuse us. We have upgraded our setup here a little bit, so you might see us looking in the wrong place a few times. We should be looking at the camera at the back of the room there, and not at the one down here. Oh God, you look so great on this camera.
I was gonna say, I don't care what you think I'm looking at. Just because if you're here, I'm glad, and that's wonderful. And whatever messages come up for you in this, that's fantastic. So yeah.
We are glad you are here. If you happen to be watching on one of the streams but not here live, I'm going to drop our link around a few places for you guys to come and hop on. Let's see what we have going on here.
I have to say, just true authenticity here. It's kind of fun to have a microphone on like this. Like it's really you feel pretty official and legit, And probably the reason why I look so fabulous today, another full transparency thing. I have way more makeup on than usual. I have contoured, which I'm sure you can see. So all of the lines look great. And I also have, so you guys can, everything is more, everything is accentuated here. Everything is more defined. So.
Could I get some contouring next time?
Sure. You can hook that up, maybe some lashes. It's really funny because Steve was asking me where my earrings came from earlier, and I was like, do you want some? I can get you some.
You know I'm a wuss and I won't pierce my own ears, right? Or even have anyone else pierce them.
I'm sure they have a clip-on version that we could work out for you.
But how much do they squeeze?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like... I'd like to remind you all that the camera does add 10 pounds, and I'm actually 10 pounds lighter than this camera is making me look.
It's probably really bad if I curse into the microphone here, so I'm not going to say that, but I am going to say like 0 F's given. This is me. This is us, right?
That's right. Na, 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 na.
I don't know what you're singing.
Na, 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 na. I make no apology. This is me. Na, na, na.
It's like movie lines and songs. Steve tries to recite them to me, and I have absolutely no idea what he's talking about because he typically doesn't have the.
Yeah, I'm the sort of person who messes up movie lines and makes people cringe everywhere. But if you are here with us, we are excited to be here, as we are every Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. This is the way we like to wrap our week, by giving away our knowledge for free. And that's what we're here to do today. This is our business hot seat. And I don't know if you saw, I renamed it the Marketing Mindset and Magic Hot Seat. bit more alliteration there.
Yeah.
Because business and marketing, for me, marketing is everything in business. And we don't just give the marketing and the mindset advice, we give a little bit of magic too.
I agree.
So yeah, if you are here, you want to jump on Zoom, you'll find the Zoom underneath our link on our Facebook page, She Reigns Creative on Facebook, and you can find it on my profile at Steve Andrews, and then in any of the groups that we're in that we run, you'll be able to find it there too. But we have some questions here from various people, and we're going to dive into those. But just remember, this is something that we provide for free. And why would you listen to us, Nicole?
Because we have built 2 7-figure businesses. We have been through a lot of ups and downs, and we have a lot of knowledge to provide. Steve, very much on the business and marketing side of things. For me, I feel it's more around the psychology of marketing and mindset and abundance thinking, abundance living. Yeah.
And let me be clear, you can be the best marketer, you can be the best business person in the world, but if you don't have the mindset input that Nicole brings, the insight she brings, she honestly pulls me back from the ledge on multiple times, because my mindset sometimes needs an ass whooping. I was brought up in England, and we're miserable as F over there sometimes. So sometimes I just need that zap. And honestly, the people who I've seen be the most successful working with us or working in business in general, who keep being successful, because you can be successful without a positive mindset to start with, but to keep being successful, your mindset has to be in the right place. And we see it in hyper successful people that they all have some form of meditation or prayer in the day. They have something there that helps them keep centered, keep focused, keep believing. If you truly want to be successful, the mindset is more important than the marketing and the business techniques, in my opinion. Someone who's positive can go out there and sell anything without the best systems in the world. All right. Anyway, I've riffed a little bit. We have some questions here. I'm not sure if there's any that are jumping out to you here, Nicole. Let's have a look. I saw one that I thought was really interesting. So Dave, who's from Vancouver in British Columbia, shout out to our Canadians. Nicole's part Canadian. I'm not sure if you know that. He has a fitness coaching business. He does personalized workout and nutrition plans. And he says, how can I overcome imposter syndrome in a crowded market? Fitness coaching is a tough place to be.
Fitness coaching is a tough place to be. Can't deny that.
Because there's so many people in there, and essentially you can be competing against bodybuilders, against people with huge followings, people who've invented diets that have become mainstream, been on TV shows. So how can Dave in Vancouver, how can he overcome that imposter syndrome?
I have the answer. You just keep going, because first of all, it's belief. It has to be belief in what you're doing. And if you are fully aligned in what you're doing and you wholeheartedly believe in what, if it's a product, if it's you personally, if it's a service that you're providing, that belief is going to be everything, because it will keep you going. I just had this, I started reading a new book. I'm not going to share the book just yet, but I started reading a new book, and I swear this mindset shift happened for myself. And it has a lot to do with us creating abundance, us manifesting our desires, whether that be in our personal lives, our business lives, whatever the case may be. Do you know how many things we don't allow to come into fruition because we just stop? And we have the audacity to then say it didn't work. Because you stopped.
Right. God.
Like, if you have relentless belief in what you're doing and that it's going to work, why would you stop? You wouldn't. And guess what? Whatever it is that you're trying to create, whatever it is that you're trying to make successful, It is going to happen. So now there's another part to this question. He specifically said imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, yeah.
Right? So if you are feeling like an imposter, what you are doing is allowing your thoughts to govern your life. So there is a beautiful energy. There is this source. There is this love. There is this universal force that is always working in our favor. And it is the only thing. And it is us. We are a part of it. And the minute we begin to allow our thoughts, which are not real, to govern the actions that we take and who we show up as every single day in our lives, that's when you're not going to find the success. That's when you're getting in your own way. And if you have the ability to stop those thoughts of self-doubt right in their tracks and replace them with the truth, which is, you are this infinite, incredible individual being, that there's no one else like you on this earth. And what you have to offer is unique to anyone else. You can kiss that imposter syndrome goodbye, because there is no competition. I'll tell you that right now. You were put here to share a message with someone. So what might be right for one person may not be right for another, meaning there's a messenger in all cases, and you are the messenger for a group of people, right? So it really has to do with relentless belief and a knowing that when imposter syndrome, when those things of self-doubt come in that tell you, I don't belong here, I'm not as good as so-and-so, et cetera, those are just thoughts. And you, along with that beautiful universal power, have the ability to change those thoughts, squash them right in their tracks. Just go and keep going. So quick recap. You're going to fail if you quit. You are not allowing your manifestation, your business, whatever it is that you're creating, to be successful because you stop and then have the audacity to say it didn't work. What? Think about that for a second, okay? Second level, imposter syndrome is not real. It's just your thoughts. You have the ability to replace those thoughts along with that universal force and along with that knowing that you are here to share whatever it is that you're trying to share and be relentless.
Yeah, I went and pulled out my quote that I've been kind of living with this week. Nicole got me finally, she's been talking about it for a long while, to read Jen Sincero and You Are a Badass. Maybe I shouldn't say ass, but I just did. It really resonated with me. And sometimes you can feel like the universe is conspiring for you. Well, the universe is always conspiring for you, universe, the power, etc. But this week, really, I needed to hear a lot of the messages that I had, and they came in floods from everywhere. From Jen Sincero, from Nicole, from the speech is at our spiritual center this past couple of weeks, to Ted Lasso. And I want to read something from Ted Lasso that I pasted into my phone, and I keep reading because it's about belief. So this was from the episode the week before last, but it says belief doesn't just happen because you hang something on the wall. In their case, it's the sign that says believe, but it could be that you've got that cheesy poster from the 90s that's got the cat, or the road ahead or something like that. But that's not where belief comes from. It comes from in here. It comes from in the heart, right? The mind and the gut down here. The only problem is we've all got so much junk floating through us. A lot of times we end up getting in our own way, right? That BS, those belief systems that kind of block us out. Crap like envy or fear or shame. We're afraid of being successful often. We're ashamed potentially. Maybe we're making money in a way that our family just wouldn't understand. I remember we've had the story. The first thing I sold was my French notes, and my parents were like, "You can't sell your French notes." You know what? I did.
Just like that. You can't sell your French notes.
But, I don't want to mess around with crap like envy or fear or shame. I don't want to mess with that anymore. Do you? You know what I want to mess around with? The belief that I matter, regardless of what I do or don't achieve, or the belief that we all deserve to be loved, whether we've been hurt or maybe we've hurt somebody else. What about the belief of hope? That's what I want to mess with, believing that things can get better, that I can get better, that we will get better. To believe in yourself, to believe in one another, that's fundamental to being alive. If you can do that, if any of you can truly do that, can't nobody rip that apart.
You should have done it in a Ted Lasso accent. That would have been amazing.
That would have butchered that would have butchered our credibility, because if I tried to do a Ted Lasso accent, it would be absolutely terrible.
Goodness.
Belief.
Belief.
Yeah.
So I hope that answer helped a little bit.
Yep, Dave, thank you for dropping that question for us. Okay, let's have a look what else we have here. So let's look at Isabella. She's from San Francisco in California, and she does subscription boxes with curated beauty and skincare products. Please don't send Nicole your website, because she will probably sign up for it. And so, we ask people to give us a marketing and a mindset question. So, I think that this is a great marketing question to answer here. So how can I use email marketing to retain customers and increase sales? I'll take the first whack at this. Nicole is amazing at writing emails and understands how to nurture people through those spaces. But I always feel that email is underutilized by so many people. We have generated literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of sales for our own businesses in the last year with email marketing. And if you're in a bind, you need to get something and you've got an email list, you've always got the ability to find something to generate revenue from. The best thing about an email list is that it's yours. You own it. Yes, people are putting those emails on your list, but if your Instagram got hacked, your Facebook got hacked, your TikTok got hacked, or TikTok gets shut down, God forbid, there's nowhere. You don't have a contact with those people unless they're on one of the other social platforms. They're people in person, or you have an email address from them. So you need to get those people, because you could be in a room full of people and claim to know them all, but if you don't pick up any of their business cards, you can't contact them when you leave that room. And that's what you need emails for. And once you have that email list, you can't abuse it, of course. You have to nurture it. You have to look after it. But for a program like subscription boxes for beauty, what you have the ability to do is to special release something. Maybe you're doing a monthly box and they get their monthly box anyway. But maybe that gives you the opportunity to show one of the products, how to use it. There's so many ways that you can increase the touch points with your customer, make them know, like, and trust you more. Maybe there's a specific reason that you chose that product to go in. Maybe it has a specific type of charcoal or a specific color, or maybe it doesn't have a specific ingredient in it. And while you could write this on a long piece of paper and put it in the box, not everybody's going to read that. We should never assume that everybody is going to ever see any single form of communication. It's okay to repeat the same message many different ways. If you follow our social media, you'll see we say some things in video, we say similar things in an image graphic, we'll say similar things in the email, because we want to make sure that we're hitting everybody who knows those things. So, how can you use email marketing to retain customers and increase sales? Customers want to feel important. They want to feel looked after. So if you can improve the buying experience of buying the subscription boxes from you, you're going to keep people around longer. You can also use it in terms of retention. If somebody wants to cancel, email is a great opportunity to send them a coupon to do those things. And as we start to learn more about our business, our customers, we can really start to think what that means. So, for example, if you have a monthly subscription, and I'm not sure of your business model exactly, Isabella, but let's say that you notice that most people drop off at the third month. Why is that? Is it because they forgot? They're not as excited about it anymore? How could you excite them in month 3 so that they stay around longer? What could make them really appreciate the value of this? I know we have brands, boxes we consistently buy from, and we'll keep consistently buying from because of the value they give us, the little bit of magic they give us sometimes. And so how can you do that? And then how can to increase sales? With any sales platform, there's a few different ways you can get people to spend more with you. So you can get them to buy more on average on the first platform, on the first go, or even in subsequent goes. For example, hey, you have a box coming. I've got leftovers of these from last month's box. Do you want any of those? Great, I'll add them in for you. The shipping will be free. That's a way of taking a box from $30 to $50, perhaps. You can also increase the frequency from which people buy from you. Okay, so now I'm trying to sell a box in the middle of the month. Maybe we've got a skincare box at one point, and then there's a makeup box the other time. There's always that way of increasing sales. And if you have a list of people who trust you, they're going to trust the next things that you do. We've always done it. We've done it that we'll use a certain brand, and if they recommend another brand, we'll trust that brand because of the recommendation. Referrals are really powerful. So you can, and the third way to do it is to double your number of customers, right? So if you want to double your sales, you double the value of your sales, you double the frequency of purchasing, or you double the number of customers. Now, doubling the number of customers is the hardest one. But if you have an e-commerce product like that, it's really simple. You just do a coupon that says, sign up for our email list and get $10 off your first box or 10% off your first box. You put them into a subscription, you understand that's the cost of doing business, and then that sets you up. So you then build your list, you've got more people, you're increasing the value. That's my take on email marketing. What other tips do you have on how you can use email marketing to retain customers and increase sales?
Well, I'm going to come at this from kind of a female woman perspective. And of course, it depends on the company, because if you're talking about a giant company that is marketing to the masses, it's not going to have as much of a personal feel. But I love it when I feel cared about, that you actually care that I'm your customer. And when it comes to retaining me as a customer, especially when it comes to health and beauty products, I don't know, this could get a little bit lengthy, but the product, I have to love the product and I have to know that it works. Now, the power of suggestion is incredible, right? So someone who is not that self-aware or not that aware in general may not even realize the benefits that they're getting from the product that you've given them, right? So say they became a customer, they purchased something from you, you then want them to keep their subscription, right? And they're using the product. Oh gosh, this brings up a really good point for me. So I like instructions. I like either a roadmap or a how-to get the most out of what I purchased. Now, I even recently subscribed to something from someone who I absolutely love, but I haven't used it. And you know why? Because there was no roadmap. It was, here it is, go ahead and have fun. That's not enough direction for me. I have ADD, I'm on the spectrum. I am obsessive compulsive. That just does not work. That does not work for me. I need somebody to tell me what to do. And even if there are multiple routes to go, multiple roadmaps, that's fine. So you could say, if you're in this position, then go XYZ. If you're in this position, then go XYZ, right? So immediately after somebody purchases something and you know that they're going to get your product, I would send them something that gives them exact instructions on how to get the best use out of it. That's maybe, first couple emails. And then following that, what they should begin to notice when it comes to the products they're using. So how is it improving their skin? How is it improving their life? The power of these suggestions and following emails with that is huge, because people may not even be aware. They may just not even just kind of going through the motions and not realize that their skin is now glowing, Hopefully they start to get compliments, but just the fact that you've taken the time to send that and remind them of all of what they should be experiencing with your products, I think that's a really great way for retaining clients, retaining customers.
And that's super smart. It's something we used to work with a lot of Beachbody coaches. And one of the emails we would suggest a Beachbody coach does would be, a week after you've ordered Shakeology, which we use, we love, but some people will shake it themselves. And like a lot of health shakes, when you shake them, they just don't mix very well. And you end up chugging down chunks of powder and water, and so just a little thing like, this is my favorite way of making Shakeology. If you don't have a blender, go and get a little one. You can get one for $15 from Target, and it's going to make this so much more delightful for you, because if you shake it, you're just not going to be able to incorporate all the ingredients effectively. And so being able to guide someone on those sorts of things. And then, sometimes you just don't recognize the benefits you got. I remember when we first got Shakeology, I had to go to the DMV, and, DMV lines can be hours, and this was no different. And I had Shakeology for breakfast. And I remember going down to the DMV thinking, oh, I'm sure I'll be done in an hour. I'll go at 11 before lunchtime. And what do you know? I'm still there at 2:00, and I wasn't like chewing the arm of the person in front of me because because I'd had Shakeology. Now, I'm not trying to promote Shakeology. There's plenty of other stuff out there and that. But if someone had said to me, hey, did you notice you were full? I might have been like, yes, I did. I noticed that I'm not as hungry at lunchtime anymore. And then suddenly you're linking things together and you're seeing the benefits that you've paid for.
Yeah, I know. And so as a consumer, all of us are consumers, right? And I could probably bet money that the majority of us have dropped our email address in exchange for something, or signed up for a newsletter or something along those lines, to where you are getting regular marketing emails from different sorts of companies. Now, if you are creating content and targeting the right people, those people won't mind all of your emails. And what you want to do, the subsequent emails that are going out to people after they've subscribed to something, is you want to provide them with a lot of value, information that's going to help them. And when I talk about content that has value, that sounds so impersonal to me, but if you have a product or an offer that somebody really wants, and you are explaining to them how you are going to solve their problem, because that's really what they want to know. Everybody wants to look good, feel good, and be richer, right?
That's top three.
Yeah. So, how is whatever it is that you have to offer going to improve their lives? And then another layer to that is, entertainment. People love to be entertained, right? And if you have the ability to entertain them some way, that's a wonderful thing to do. And they also are inherently nosy. Humans are just nosy. So they want to know what's going on. And the minute you personalize something, gosh, this does so much for me. So I may not like a product or a brand at first, or maybe even a person at first. You know what I'm going to tell you? It was Tony Horton. Oh, we're going back to Beachbody. We have strong Beachbody roots. So Tony Horton, I never liked him. I never liked him. I was like, oh my gosh, I do not like this guy at all. But then that was when I knew nothing about him. All I knew was that he was this snarky fitness trainer that taught 90-minute workouts that I had absolutely no interest in doing, right? But then I got to know him a little bit better. And I learned about a relationship he had with, I can't remember the woman's name, and maybe he's still in the relationship with her, but he shared pieces of himself that nobody would know. And my heart softened for him. I was like, oh my gosh, he's actually kind of cool. Maybe he got a little bit humbled as well, because he started to not feel well. He was dealing with an illness, but that's the thing. Gosh, it's gonna go Brene Brown here. Getting vulnerable is powerful, because people connect to people connect to stories. So regardless of if you're selling a physical product, you're not selling your coaching or whatever, just that personable piece that
Yeah.
shares your, what does this mean to you? What is more about you? Who is the creator?
Right.
Who is the creator of this product? Where do they live? What's their background? What's their life experience? Do they have a family? Do you love dogs? Do you have cats? Maybe you have iguanas. It really, you have the ability to kind of lay your soul out there. It's not for everybody, but it's a wonderful way to connect with your people. And I don't know, for me,
People work with people they know, like, and trust, right?
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm an empath, highly sensitive. I like to have that connection.
And me too. I saw Johnny Cupcakes. I'm not sure if anyone's heard of his t-shirts, but he actually came and spoke at the college that I was working at. And you heard his story from getting started, and his passion comes through things. You see his passion in the way that the products are sent out. So he was an 80s kid. He used to collect cards and stickers and all those sorts of things. So you'd get random 80s stickers and cards in your t-shirt package, and he'd even throw money in there. And the fact is, you're looking for that bonus that comes in your pack. You're looking to see what comes with it. I know Nicole gets quite a bit of jewelry from Taylor's Musings, and she'll sometimes throw in some freebies for you and things like that. And those little things that you do are great opportunities to connect with your customer, because it shows that you're more than just a dollar sign to them. People want to feel like they're cared about, and by sharing personality, by connecting with people know, like, and trust you, and they want to work with you.
Yeah, we are still talking about email marketing, and this is something that you can do via email.
Yeah, absolutely. We should move on to another question.
Yeah.
We are 35 minutes deep and only 2 questions in. So, any questions that are jumping out to you here, Nicole? Yeah, here we go. I think this would be a good one. So Emma from Atlanta in Georgia has a pet care business. She does mobile pet grooming and pet sitting. Shout out to our pet sitters. We love our pet sitters who look after our dog when we go away. She doesn't travel well. We can't take her down the road without her throwing up in the car. So we're grateful for people to come and look after her and our house when we go away. And so she is asking, where is the question? How can I create engaging content to increase my online presence? Dog groomer, pet sitter, how can we do it? Great. Nicole's much better at content than I am. I struggle and work hard at it. But
I would say documentation.
Yeah.
You have to get permission from the people that you're pet sitting for, but documentation of these processes. I know that the pet sitters that we've worked with, they always take video and photos of our dog and send them to us, and so you probably have the content. Everybody loves dogs, everybody loves cats, everybody loves animals, and that sort of content online is viral. It goes viral.
Honestly, if you look at mine and Nicole's messages on Instagram, most of it is me sending Nicole reels of dogs.
Constantly sending dog reels, and I'm like, what are you doing at 3:00 in the morning?
Thinking of you, my love.
Thank goodness.
And sending you dogs.
It's not really 3:00 in the morning he's sending them, but still. No, but yeah, documentation is wonderful. And what's also really cool is that I think you have the ability to, even with trending sound, everything is reels, everything is TikTok, everything is this short form video, right? You have the ability to take trending sound and turn it into something that's appealing for your audience, right? So you may want to put all of a pet owner's fears at ease using a trending audio, and you get a little bit creative with that. You may just want to use absolute cuteness for your social media. Gosh, there are so many ways to do that.
Kids and dogs.
I know. I wish I had an example account to show you, but there are just so many ways to do this. Trending audio, a lot of the time now, is used for dogs or cats instead of humans.
I still think of the dog, the hip, hop, hip it.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, the one that the dog looks like it's dancing.
Well, there was one yesterday that came up that there's this new trending audio where this guy he's going around on a lawn and he goes boom, boom, and he's boom, boom, and then twerking, boom, boom. And remember the little chihuahua, they were holding the chihuahua on the top, and then on the bottom was a human body doing the same gyrations, shaking.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I was thinking about the mean dog that you were doing with the earlier.
Yeah, poor thing. They were twisting its ears.
That was it sounded like a motorcycle.
Not cool how much time I spend.
Research for the business, right? Research
Yeah.
for the business.
Yeah. But, to recap on that specifically for a pet owners or a pet groomers, experience, documentation, using those trending reels to entertain with the animals, that's everybody just loves the animals. And then also squashing any pet owner's fears when it comes to leaving your pet with a complete stranger or a pet sitter, I think that's really important.
What do we worry about as people who leave our pets with pet sitters?
Them not really taking care of them.
They're not really there. They feed them and then leave. That's one of my worries.
Feed them and leave. Yeah. Or they could be a total weirdo. I have really strange thoughts sometimes. It's probably my OCD. But they could be somebody who actually hates animals and they use it as an opportunity to abuse them.
Oh,
I know. Weird, right? But
that's dark.
welcome to my brain.
I think if you think about some of those fears, there's ways to offset them. So, if you could show yourself with a dog or a cat and them loving on you, maybe they like to squish you. And so if you can show that, if you can show us making the food the way that you've been shown to make the food. So, maybe some dogs need to have chicken pulled off a chicken carcass. If you can show those sorts of things, if you can show them giving the pills, the difficult things, water, maybe some treats, fun at the dog park, fun at the walk, those sorts of things that people want to feel like their dogs are really being well taken care of. Same with cats. I don't know a lot about cats, but I'm kind of allergic to them, and they typically stick their claws into me in a mean way. So me and cats and no bueno.
I just had a vision of a video of a doggy at a day spa.
Oh.
So it has, you could have the doggy on a recliner, maybe feet in water, cucumbers on their eyes. You're taking care, you're spoiling their dog.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that.
They can have a vacation too.
Yeah. Puppuccinos.
Our puppy loves whipped cream. She gets way too much whipped cream. I can't see her ribs anymore. I bet you can't guess who gives Annie 2 servings of whipped cream a day, right?
2 servings. I've only been giving her 1. When I make my shake, I use whipped cream and she gets whipped cream.
Yeah. Okay, let's pick another question here. Emma from Atlanta, we hope that answered your question about creating engaging content, and if you can create content in that space. Yes, it's a competitive space, but even if you just promoted it locally to people in your area, so you can turn those into clients, it's really going to help. So
can I say something?
Sure.
We talk about these competitive spaces. Yeah, that might matter if you're in a small town, right? Like if your kind of business is a small local business, okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, but it's how you're looking at it though. And this really is, I think it's one of my pet peeves. It drives me absolutely crazy. And then the other half of me, I absolutely relate to it because you can get frustrated. You're looking at, okay, well, how many likes, comments, and views am I getting?
Right.
But the question is, are you getting the right likes, comments, and views? Are they people who are actually going to turn into people that work with you? Are you actually finding the people that need you and that you can serve?
Right.
Or are you just making, something, are you creating content that's just going to get attention?
Right.
Because attention is cool and all, but it doesn't matter if it's not the people who are going to purchase something from you or work with you or whatever. And so, it really is vanity when you're sitting there thinking, oh, how do I stand out? Well, if you're being 100% authentic, if you are sharing your services on a regular basis, you're going to reach the people that you need to reach. You're going to find the people who need you, just drives me a little nutty.
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely a mindset game, right? We can be like, oh, look, the economy is bad and recession's bad and look at unemployment. But essentially, if you take it out of the big scene of things, you're either 100% employed or 0% employed.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that it's 9% unemployment or 7% or 5%, I don't even know what the number is. It doesn't matter. What matters is where you are. And the fact is that you, even in a small town, are the only person like you, 100% like you in your niche. And so there's no reason that you can't co-work, coexist with a business even in a small town, because you're going to be everything that some people want and other people are not going to like you. And that's fine both ways.
Internet fame does not equal success. Can I just say that out loud right now?
Right.
Everybody wants to be internet famous.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow they think that they've, that's going to be the defining moment that they've made it.
Right. Yeah, we've got multiple seven-figure businesses, and neither of us have more than 10,000 followers on Instagram.
Internet famous. Okay. So, and I think that this topic really speaks to me, because I know that I've had trouble differentiating the lines between social media and reality. So are you going to be the person that determines their worth and success strictly on how popular they are on social media? Like, say that out loud. I base my success and self-worth on how much attention I get on social media. Really?
I say that only matters if you're making your money specifically through social media. So that means you're being an influencer who's getting paid based on the number of followers, or maybe you've got an OnlyFans account. Right. The more people you have watching, the better.
Right. Or would you rather be able to say, I am a badass who has a successful business just because?
I need some sound effects to play when you do this, like
well, just talk about looking at the wrong things,
Absolutely.
Really take a look at where are you successful? I can guarantee there's some success in there without the internet fame.
Totally. All right, let's dive into another question. So Bob is from Toronto in Canada, in the province. I think their province is up there, not states, right? Of Ontario. He has a vegan food delivery business and does plant-based meal kits and meal plans. Well, each to their own, Bob. Each to their own. But anyway, it's a great industry that people are very passionate about. Even as a meat eater, I understand that eating meat isn't the best for the environment. Those cows put out a lot of methane and make great steaks. But in any case, Bob has a mindset question that says, how can I maintain motivation when facing setbacks? Shitty things happen, Bob.
There's nothing that happens to you. It's always happening for you. So what you have to do is, one of the things that my friend Mitch Austin and I spoke about in our workshop, The Universe Has Your Back, was how, when you're in those times of trials and tribulations, in those setbacks, how can you find the lesson or the blessing? Because one of those things is in those experiences. Right.
Right. When you were saying that, I'm just like, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary calls to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. I find a lot of my mantras, etc., in songs, but it's true. It's just sometimes you just have to find the lesson, or just let that negative experience pass through you. It's happening for a reason.
And hindsight is always 2020, right? Like, think of all the times that you've had setbacks in your life, or maybe it was in business as well. All of the trials that you've been through, I'm sure you've learned something from them. So know in that moment when you're in that setback, you know, I think I've pondered this question myself, even wondering if, you ask yourself, are you on the right path? And
Yes.
if you're in touch with yourself enough, if you're taking the time to get quiet every day, if you are really in tune with yourself and your intuition, you know whether you should be on this path or not. Sometimes maybe it's meant to go in a different direction, but if you're not open to that guidance, then, you're going to stay on something that you keep hitting a wall in. Maybe something needs to shift. Maybe it needs to go in a different direction. Maybe it needs to be something completely different. But I think it's that relentless ability to just keep going because it hasn't come into fruition the way that you see it yet or have seen it yet. Don't quit. The setback is always, it's part of your story. You're going to look back on it one day and say, oh my gosh, I made it through that and it made me so strong, right?
Absolutely, and we see it. We see it in our lives. We see it in business. And I know I've told this story before, but I remember getting started and thinking, if we could just get to making 30,000 a month, we'd be able to relieve pressure and things like that. And we got to $30,000, and it felt great for like 5 seconds. And then we had different problems, which you had different problems to solve, right? Because then you solve those next problems, and there's problems all the way. Don't think that Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos are not dealing with big problems. They have problems. They have a lot of intelligent people they pay to fix most of those problems so they can live their lives. But their businesses have huge problems. Huge problems that someone is fixing as we speak. So it's never you're going to get to a space where you don't have problems. Everyone's having setbacks, but it's kind of like the rough stone that polishes the diamond, right? It's like and I know that's so trite to say that, but as you have those experiences, you do get better. You learn how to get through the setbacks more. And when you're starting a business, a client canceling, a client returning an order might be a big effing deal. But you're going to get used to that, and you're going to have more returns, and you're going to have more issues at different levels.
Oh, it's going to sting less each time.
It's going to sting less.
It stings, but it's going to sting less.
The first time you have to let someone go, it's going to take a lot of energy for you. And then the second time it'll be slightly easier. And the third time it'll be slightly easier. And usually you're letting them go for a reason, and it just sets you up in the right way to move forward. But it's not easy, and business isn't easy. It's not for the faint-hearted, but the rewards can be huge if you can get through these setbacks. And it sounds like you've got a real passion-based business there that you're doing great things in Toronto with. Any closing thoughts on that for Bob? Okay, let's see how we're doing. We got about 10 minutes left. Let's have a look here. Got a good number of questions here. Let's see. So we have Grace in Chicago, the Windy City. Ted Lasso cow call out again there, but she does wellness retreats, holistic health and wellness experiences. And she has a marketing question, which is, how can I build partnerships with other businesses for cross promotion? Go talk to people.
Well, first of all, you have the mindset that there is no competition. There's only, collaboration. Collaboration creates more abundance. So yeah, you do have to go and talk to people. You have to build relationships, right? And I think it has to do with that authenticity thing again. If you truly want to work with a company and it's not just for selfish reasons and selfish gain, you know, their customers could be your customers and vice versa. And you have a mutual relationship where you share each other's products, even if it's in the similar space.
Right.
You know, I think people fail at this a lot. Humans fail at this a lot because they believe, you know, there's the difference between abundance thinking and thinking in lack. You know, when you believe that you're competing with everybody, you're acting in a space of there's not enough for everyone. But when you're in abundance thinking and you're acting in abundance thinking, you know that there's plenty, right? So there's ease, there's confidence, there's grace in everything that you do. And collaborating with somebody who might have at one point been considered a competitor. Can you imagine how much more abundance you could create with both of your talents? With both of your products? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. And you know, kudos for Nicole from changing a marketing question into a mindset question there. But it is absolutely true, because having the right mindset is really important.
I want to know.
Well, you know, I just wanted to kind of come back to the abundance and lack that you're talking about there. And, you know, ultimately it's back to that word belief, because if you believe there's abundance, you'll find abundance. And if you believe there's lack, you'll find every piece of evidence to support that there's lack there. So if you believe you have enough time to do everything you need in the day, believe me, you will have enough time to do everything you need to do in the day. If you believe you're never going to have enough time to do all of those things that you're going to have to do, you know what? You're going to find things, and you've already admitted that you're not going to complete everything because you don't have enough time to do all of those things. So, you know, it's going to be okay, because you're going to validate your own thought. You're going to be right. And that's more important than actually getting those things done, right? A little snarky there, but you know, building relationships, a lot of the time people just don't ask out of fear. And it comes back to mindset again. Then, you know, people are worried about having a conversation with someone. What if they say no to me? It's hard. People don't like being rejected, right? It affects our core being rejected, so we don't ask. But most people, if they're asked, will say yes. And if they can't at that point, maybe it doesn't align with their business at that point, they're always going to have you in the back of their mind. If you build a good relationship with someone, they're going to want to find a way to help you. And it's as simple as that. You know, one of my favorite books around marketing is called Influence. It's by a guy called Robert Cialdini, Cialdini. And it talks about the principle of reciprocity. And reciprocity is, if you give something to somebody, they will be indebted to you and give something back to them. Now, look at this on the most basic level. If you go to your neighbor and say, hey, I'm trying to bake tonight and I'm short of flour, can I borrow a cup of flour? Absolutely. They find you a cup of flour, right? If they came to you the next day and said, can I have a cup of flour? Having you given them a cup of flour, what would you say? You'd say, sure, I just bought flour. Here's a cup of flour or a cup of sugar or whatever it needs to be. At the same point, this works in other areas as well. So how can you deliver value to someone? Hey, I'm a marketing expert. Took a look at your website and I just thought, you know, if you could put a call to action higher on that landing page, I think you'd convert better. So try doing this. If you need me to do it for you, I'll do it for you. No problem. I'll just hop in there and do it for you. And you know what? Then they're going to be looking at your stuff and say, hey, you know, I don't know if you know, the IRS just brought in this new tax regulation, which allows you to write this off. If you're not writing it off, I can help you do that. Suddenly people are helping people are raising people, and that's what they want. I was speaking to someone earlier who has a brand called Soberish, and it's all about drinking less, not about becoming completely sober. It's sober-ish, but she works with a non-alcoholic store inside of Indianapolis, and I believe they've recorded a podcast together. They want her to go there and present on, you know, on being soberish. They're both helping each other. They're both in the same niche. They're both raising each other up, and that's the ability that you have in these sorts of things. So it's a great way. And you know, business can be lonely, and it's great if you have other businesses that you can work with and have someone else to spend time with.
Yes, sir.
All righty. I think we're kind of at that point now that we don't want to dive into someone else's question. It's 6 p.m. over there on the East Coast, and people are probably a drink deep at this point, and or on their way home from home and listening to us. And we hope you had an amazing Friday.
Hopefully not a drink deep and driving home.
Let's not combine the two. So we are Steve and Nicole Andrews. You can find us on Instagram as the Consciousness Champion.
Mhm.
And I'm Steve, the strategist. You can find us over there. And obviously you can find us on our social media here. Feel free to connect with us. If you have a question, you know someone who has a business question, send them our way. We love to answer them. Thank you for the questions we've had today from Bob and from Dave and from Emma and from Grace and from Isabella. We have a few more questions here that we'll get to next week. We will get to every question at some point until we are absolutely beyond inundated on questions that we can't, but we will try and answer everyone's question in any way that we can. We are excited to be here and help you every week.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Now, because of our new setup, I'm going to go and turn off things at the back of the room here, so you can enjoy Nicole's lovely face at the end, just as you enjoyed it in the beginning. So thank you for being here with us, and have a great weekend.